Hello everyone! A pleasant day to all of you who are making time to view this recording. Thank you to the Institute of Human Nutrition and Food for inviting us to their lecture series, and congratulations on your 34th anniversary. We are asked to talk about our perspectives as an organization of family farmers in Asia on transforming food systems for better nutrition. For this, the outline of the presentation is as follows: brief profile of AFA, brief overview on food systems, challenges and issues in the current food system, key strategies in transforming food systems, and key recommendations and action points. So first, a brief profile of AFA. AFA is a regional level farmers organization established in 2002, and this year we are celebrating our 20th year. AFA is currently composed of 22 national farmers organizations in 16 countries in Southeast, South, North, and Central Asia. Through our regionally coordinated but nationally implemented projects, we also work in partnership with 70 other partner farmers organizations for a total of 27 countries. Our membership is composed of 13 million small-scale women, men, and young family farmers engaged in crops, livestock, fisheries, forestry, herding, and pastoralism. The UN Food and Agriculture Organization has defined family farming as a means of organizing agriculture, forestry, fisheries, pastoral, and aquaculture production, which is managed and operated by a family and predominantly reliant on family labor, both women's and men's. The family and the farm are linked, co-evolve, and combine economic, environmental, reproductive, social, and cultural functions. How many are family farmers around the world? Family farmers account for more than 90% of all the farms in the world and occupy around 70 to 80% of farmlands and produce more than 80% of the world's food in value terms. Now, family farmers have a different size holdings. Some family farmers own big tracts of land like 200 hectares of above, but farms of less than 2 hectares account for 84% of all farms, but operate on only 12% of agriculture land, but still produce 36% of the world's food. Our members are small-scale farmers owning an average of less than 2 hectares of land. So Asia and the Pacific region accounts for 74% of the world's family farmers, and small-scale family-based food producers account for almost 80% of the milk production, as well as 80 to 90% of aquaculture farms are in Asia. So second, the brief overview of food systems. Food system is defined as a complex web of activities involving the production, distribution and aggregation, food processing, marketing, purchasing, preparation, and consumption, as well as resource and waste recovery in the whole process and steps. It involves the interaction of various actors in all these processes and steps. Where are the family farmers in the food system? First, as mentioned before, we are producers of food. We are also aggregators of the various food produced, especially our cooperatives and economic enterprises. We also process food, for example, in as banana chips, taro chips, or as lemon or calamansi juice. We also market our produce most of the time for domestic consumption, but sometimes for international exports. We also buy food because most of our produce are not enough to feed our families. We also cook and prepare food, as well as we can generate and recover wastage, or we can even produce waste, no, in the process of producing food. So that is why we say that family farmers are at the center and at the heart of food system, because family farmers have a role, a contribution in each of the element of the food system. So this is why we say in the food system dialogues, nothing about us without us. And because family farmers comprise from at least 30% to as much as 70% of the population in many developing countries. So let us go to the third, issues and challenges in the current food system. Food is supposed to make us healthy and strong, providing all the nutrients our body needs. The system of producing, processing, distribution, and consumption of food should be able to promote our right to food, that everyone must have adequate food. But there is something very wrong in our food system. It is broken. Why do we say it is wrong? Because it is a system that results to poverty, hunger, and malnutrition. With 690 million hungry, 149 million children stunted, 45 million children wasted, 38 million people globally obese, and those affected are mostly rural people relying on agriculture for a living. Furthermore, our biodiversity is very much weakened, and we have ecosystem degradation. Why is that so? Our current food system is highly industrialized, extractive, and uses so much chemical agriculture, as well as dominated by big business, especially during the Green Revolution. So the Green Revolution has promoted monocropping with priority over a few staples, is export-oriented, and is controlled by big agribusiness. And this kind of agriculture has also promoted unhealthy and toxic diets with too much fat, too much grease, sugar, and inorganic ingredients in many of the processed foods that we eat today. And this kind of industrial and highly extractive chemical agriculture has impoverished or has made family farmers poor and hungry. So what has been the challenges that faced by farmers in this kind of agriculture? First is lack of rights to natural resources such as our lands, waters, forests, resources, threatening the livelihoods of 2.5 billion small-scale family farmers. Lack of access and control over technological, education, health, infrastructure, information, production, financial, and market resources, a testimony to the neglect of agriculture and rural areas, and resulting to weak market power of farmers. Insignificant involvement in policy-making processes in agriculture and rural development, as well as vulnerabilities in price and climate shocks threatening our livelihoods and sometimes our lives. So we need to transform into sustainable food systems, which is productive and prosperous to ensure the availability of sufficient food, equitable, just, and inclusive to ensure access for all people to food and to livelihoods within that system, empowering and respectful to ensure the agency for all people and groups, including those who are most vulnerable and marginalized, to make choices and exercise voice in shaping that system, resilient to ensure stability in the face of shocks and crises, particularly on climate crisis and climate change, regenerative to ensure sustainability in all its dimensions, as well as healthy and nutritious to ensure nutrient uptake and utilization. So we go to the fourth part of our presentation. What are the key strategies to food systems for better nutrition? Let me give you some examples of how these key strategies work at the ground level. So let us share with you the story of husband and wife Dante and Aming Pajaron from Valencia, Bukidnon in the Philippines. The couple was awarded 1.3 hectares of land in 1990 as beneficiaries of the government's agrarian reform program. Together with other beneficiaries, they formed the Agrarian Reform Beneficiaries Association Multipurpose Cooperative, or AFARBAMCO, which is a member of Pakisama, a national farmers organization in the Philippines, which is a founding member of AFA. Pakisama started its sustainable agriculture program in 1986, conducting seminars among farmers, training farmer extensionists, and establishing demonstration farms in willing farmer practitioners. In 2002, or 12 years after being awarded land certificates, Dante and Aming decided to practice integrated, diversified organic farming. Currently, the farm is a living witness of integrated, diversified organic farming using the three-crop, livestock, and fish integration. So you can see here a snapshot of their farm with rice, with ducks, with pigs, with goats, and with fish and vegetables. After 10 years, what is the impact on their farm? Among their crops and livestock, the ducks serve as the main source of livelihood as they lay eggs every day. This is a huge difference when compared to their old way of farming, where rice was the only crop, taking them at least 4 months to earn. Dante and Aming used to be in debt when they were still in the conventional farming. With integrated, diversified organic farming systems, they did not only recover from debt, but they also were able to send their children to private schools. 3 of their children are now in college, 2 of whom are graduating, while 1 is in senior high school. They were recipients of the Outstanding Family Farmer in Northern Mindanao in 2014. They have also, because their farm is earning, they have also enticed their youth to also help and get involved in agriculture. And of course, there is better environment in the farm because the farm is diverse with lots of species and crops in it. Another strategy for better nutrition are the forgotten foods or the neglected and underutilized crops. In the past, Asia-Pacific countries were cultivating and consuming a wide variety of food crops which had high nutrition value. Modern industrialized agriculture and consequent changes in policies and food habits have moved away from the traditional foods which have now become almost a forgotten food. A shift from the current yield for immediate profit paradigm towards multifunction, diversified agri-food systems to achieve zero hunger and provide nutritious, healthy, and sustainable diets requires, among others, a transformation of agriculture innovation systems, valuing more local knowledge and ingenuity, as well as neglected genetic and species diversity. Greater diversity associated with sustainable management practices is needed in agriculture and food systems in order to feed 9.7 billion people in 2050. What are some initiatives on this? The Regional Farmer Organization in the Pacific Island Farmer Organization Network, has embarked on a program for research and development as well as production and processing of breadfruit. The Self-Employed Women's Association, or SEWA, in India, which has a membership of 1.9 million women in informal labor force, and 1.7 million of them are subsistence farmers. They have embarked on a smart food enterprise using traditional, local, yet nutritious crops. Let us see a short video on this. And it's not clicking, so I don't know how to go about this. But please, when you receive this presentation, please click on the link and watch the video. At the regional level, AFA is part of a collective action on promoting forgotten foods in partnership with National Research Institution, Swaminathan Foundation in India, a regional research institution, APAARI, and global research institutions, GIFAR, Biodiversity International, and SIAT, as well as ICRISAT. The United Nations system, which was a 2-year-long process of dialogues and consultations on how to transform food systems so that it can fast-track the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, was for us a global opportunity and a space to strengthen our decades-long advocacy and to explore partnerships with supportive agencies and organizations on achieving sustainable, healthy, and empowering food systems. We have identified 7 game-changing solutions based also on our experiences on lessons learned. First, promoting land rights to lands and natural resources for men, women, and young small-scale farmers. Second, agroecology, climate-resilient agroecological approaches to farms, fisheries, and forests. Cooperative development, strengthening farmers' cooperatives and enterprises to increase family farmers' market power, delivery of full value chain services to members, and be more strongly involved in the governance of value chains. Gender and youth equity, promote equal rights and equitable opportunities for women farmers as well as attract the youth to agriculture. Inclusive governance, design and implementation of national and regional plans for the implementation of the UN Decade of Family Farming through multi-stakeholder processes with family farmers as key stakeholder and equal partner. And lastly, direct financing to family farmers organizations to engage in policy advocacy, strengthen initiatives and partnerships at national and regional and global levels. Examples of these are what if our partners in IFAD, EU, SDC, GAPSP, FAO, and FFF are implementing with AFA. For our 5th section, we talk about key action points, and we want to start with you. Although I know this is a pre-recorded presentation, may we devote the next minute to reflect on what you as an individual or as a leader or member of the organization can do to support the transition to healthy food systems. In the next minute, while I keep silent, can you write in the chat box what you can do to support healthy and nutritious system? Thank you very much. If this is a live virtual presentation, I would have loved to see the responses you have made in the chat box and add on to what you have said. But since this is a recorded presentation, please allow me to share some possible inspiring actions that we can do as individuals and organizations. So this is not exhaustive, so please add what you have written if this is not included in your list. Okay. First of all, please take a closer look at the pictures above. This is the front side of a farming family residing in a low-cost housing subdivision in Baras, Rizal, while the farm itself is about 3 kilometers away uphill. You can see here lemongrass, ampalaya, alugbati, and blue ternate plants in a very small piece of land, just an opening from the cemented front easement. The family is able to plant and produce 4 crops, not much for everyday consumption, but certainly helping in providing nutritious food. So this is an example of power in our hands, power to have healthy food systems, power to have healthy food within our reach. So first, start urban gardening like what this family farm is doing, that in an urban setting. Second, if you have a farm, start agroecology in your farm. Start integrated, diversified organic farming systems. Transition to it, or if you are there already, maintain it, and massively promote it. Third is eat healthy diets. So diverse, organic, safe, whole foods, least processed and chemically induced food. Like instead of buying Pringles, for example, you buy the banana chips processed by a local farmer organization. So buy from local farmers practicing agroecology, and support local enterprises using agroecological products direct from farmers and their organizations and cooperatives. Establish and support producer and consumer cooperatives that directly relates on marketing and distribution, shortening food miles, keeping food fresh, like community-supported agriculture activities. Inform, educate both producers and consumers. You can create, in this era of digital technology, you can create memes, PubMats, videos that the layperson can understand and appreciate the research and evidence you have related to food systems. Okay. Don't leave them in the dark. And lastly, partner with us and support our common advocacies and worthwhile programs and activities. As a conclusion, this is our one-liner. Family farmers for healthy people and planet. Support us, and in the process, we support you. We support each other to become healthier and to live in a healthier planet, building a solid solidarity amongst food producers and food consumers. Thank you for your attention, and questions and comments are welcome on May 23.